Welcome to the Daily Review. This is Razak, Senior Trading Strategist here at CMTrading. And today is February 15, 2024, and today is Thursday morning. So looking at the highlights of the day, the U.S. markets are looking for a rebound, and they started their rebound. But first, looking at today's major economic events. So we start out today at 9 a.m. South African time. Out of Great Britain, we have a monthly GDP, gross domestic product number, coming out. Now at 3:30 South African time, out of the United States, we have a monthly retail sales number and also an Empire State Manufacturing Index number. Now looking at the various markets, starting out with the Forex symbols, the US dollar retracing versus the major pairs. And as we look at the indices, both the Dow Jones and the NASDAQ starting out their bounce. Now looking at commodities, gold remains unchanged, while oil retracing off of that resistance, and we called it yesterday. And looking at the stocks, NVIDIA back on its highs. And lastly, looking at cryptocurrencies, Bitcoin clearing 52K. So let's take a look at the markets and see what we can expect from today's trading. So here we go. First with the Euro USD, it's still on a downwards trend, but we hit 107 and it was like clockwork. We bounced right off of it. So yes, is it still relatively in a downwards trend? Absolutely. It's below the 8-day moving average, and that has been its resistance line on the top. However, just keep in mind that 107 is a round number, and it's also been previous support before. So we may be seeing ourselves just trading in a range, at least for now. Now jumping into the Japanese yen, trading a little bit further down versus the dollar getting a little bit weaker here as we're closing in on that all-time record highs. Now looking at the Turkish Lira, doesn't once again, another week, another low. We've been mentioning this for quite some time, but I got to cover it. So jumping into commodities, gold remaining unchanged, 1993. This may see a further sell-off. I am concerned about this because you didn't see it bouncing back right away. And generally, once it makes these aggressive moves, it makes a return move right afterwards, but we didn't get that. So may see further sell-off there. Now looking at crude oil, works like clockwork. Also, every time we hit resistance, it sells off. Yesterday, we hit $78, and it made a correction. Now we're trading at 76. Now, it's not a big trade, but these little trades, they add up, okay? As long as you're playing that probability play, shorting the top, you're buying the bottom, you got some momentum and you've got some leeway on your side. Now, jumping into the U.S. markets, the Dow Jones, it bounced. Didn't bounce big, but it bounced. So keep that in mind as this is making somewhat of a comeback. And looking at the NASDAQ, it bounced more. And this is where it's really important because we're seeing that 30-day moving average being crossed over, and we may see that 8-day moving average crossed over also. And looking at it still, it's still an upwards momentum. So this is not giving up, and it doesn't look like it's giving up. So just keep that in mind. Now jumping into the individual stocks, NVIDIA was the one that led us back higher on our highs, 737. It can't get better than that. Only $7 off of our all-time highs. Looking at Microsoft, did start to make a comeback, crossing over. Okay, let's see if it actually does. Facebook, much more resilient, right? And when this we took note of yesterday, we saw a sell-off the previous day, and we said there are some stocks that are stronger than others. It's not all as weak as it seems, okay? And that's exactly what's been happening. Now, looking at Bitcoin clearing 52,000, selling off a little bit right now, but it is clearing off. Now we're first taking a look at a weekly chart. Just keep this in mind. There is resistance here, and if it continues to clear through 53, we could see it back on its highs very simply. But just smaller probability play is to buy it here because it's gone so far up. So keep that in mind. Still, not to chase it up all the way up here, and just it's a day trading opportunity. It's not a position trading opportunity, meaning you don't want to hold on to this 2 to 3 days. You want to make quick shorts in and out, as it's doing some market action, and that's the best play to play it. This is Fed Razak. I want to wish you guys a great trading day. Thank you.